Hi everybody, it's Miss Jackie with Botetourt County Libraries. Storytime theme this week is food. So we're going to talk about our favorite foods. Let's see, what is one of your favorite foods? Let's think about that. Did you say bananas? I like bananas. They're very good for you. Let's see, what other things do we love to eat? Did you say apples? Yes, apples are delicious and they're good for you too. Let's see, what else? Did you say worms? No? You didn't say worms, are you sure? No, of course not. People don't eat worms, do they? No, Miss Jackie's just being silly now. But there are lots of animals that like to eat worms and other delicious bugs. That's what our story is going to be about today. We're going to talk about a little red hen who loved bugs and who loved to feed bugs and worms to her babies. It's called, as I said, the story is The Little Red Hen. This is an old English folk tale, and it was found on Project Gutenberg. I'm going to put the link to that and to our activity today on the description box at the end of the video, so be sure to check out that. All right, let's talk about that little red hen. She lived on a farm and spent all of her day walking around that barnyard looking for worms and bugs for her babies. Pickety-peckety here and a pickety-peckety there. She would scratch, looking for worms. Her babies loved worms and they ate a lot of them. So she would find a delicious worm and she would cluck for her babies, and they would come running. They would sit around her and she would give them little bits of worm. It was a lovely life. Now on this farm there lived other animals, of course. Let's see, what kind of animals live on a farm? Let's think about that. Did you say pig? Yes, pig lives on the farm, and there's a pig in our story. Let's see, what else? Did you say cow? Yes, cows live on the farm. Now tell me, what do cows say? How do they sound? Did you say moo? Sure, that's what a cow says. Let's see, what else lives on a farm? Can you tell me another animal? Let's think about that. Did you say sheep? Yes, sheep go, what? How do they sound? Ah, that's right. So we have a pig on this farm, and we have a cow, and we have sheep. Let's see, what else lives on this farm? Did you say cat? Yes, there's a cat in our story too. What does the cat say? Meow, that's exactly right. Now also in this story there's a rat living in the barn. So let me tell you a little bit about the pig and the cat and the rat. These were three very lazy creatures. They like to do nothing all day but take naps and eat their snacks and nap some more. Well, the cat was so lazy she wouldn't even get up and chase the rat. But that was okay because the rat was so lazy he wouldn't even run. And the pig just liked to eat and lay in the sun all day. Well, on this farm where all these animals lived, the little hen was the busy one. She was busy finding food every day for her babies. So day after day, she was out working hard, looking for worms and bugs for her babies. Now one day, as she was pickety-pecking in the garden, in the barnyard, she came across a seed. She didn't know it was a seed. It just looked like a strange bug to her. But of course, when she tasted it, she knew this was not a worm. But what was it? She was very curious. She decided to ask all around the barnyard to see if anyone might know what this seed was. Sure enough, someone knew. Someone told her that this was a wheat seed. Yes, and if you planted it, it would grow a wheat stalk. And if you harvested that wheat, you could grind that into flour, and from that flour, you could make bread. Have you ever smelled freshly baked bread? It is a delicious aroma. Well, she knew that this was very interesting. As I said, she was very curious. She really wanted to find out if that would really work. She knew she ought to plant it, but she was so busy looking for food for herself and for her babies. She just didn't think she had the time to plant it. So she thought, well, I'll ask for help. After all, the pig isn't really doing anything, and then there's that cat who isn't really doing anything, and then there's the rat who's definitely not doing anything. So she called out, she said, who will help me? Who will help me plant this seed? Well, the pig did answer. The pig said, not I. Then the cat answered and said, meow, not I. And the rat answered and said, not I. Oh, well, all right then, said the little red hen, I will. She did. She planted the seed, and as the summer days grew long, she spent her days doing what she did every day, scratching around, pickety-pecking, looking for worms and bugs. But as she did, she noticed that that wheat was growing taller, and it was ready for harvest. By the end of the summer, it was ready to be cut. So one day she decided it was the time to cut that wheat. So again, she was very, very busy feeding her babies, and so she asked again for help. Who will help me? Who will cut the wheat? She asked. Excuse me, said the pig. No, not I. And the cat said, meow, not I. And the rat, of course, said, not I. So the little red hen said, I will, and she did. She went to the farmer's tool shed and she got the sickle that she needed. She cut that plant of wheat down, and then she knew that it had to be taken to the mill to be ground in flour. Now again, she's very, very busy. Her babies were really hungry. Peep, 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 they were saying. They were letting her know she was quite hungry, and so she asked again for help. Excuse me, could anyone help me, please? Would someone please take this wheat to the mill and have it ground into flour? No, said the pig, not I. Well, meow, said the cat, not I. And said the rat, not I. All right then, she said, I will. Now, she was very tired. She'd had a busy, busy day, but she knew she must do it, and so, after she fed her babies, she took that wheat to the mill. The miller ground it into beautiful white flour. He put it in a sack for her, and then, of course, she had to get that sack home, so she had to pull and tug and drag that heavy sack of flour all the way home. And along the way, she took time to find plenty of bugs and worms for her babies. Whew, she was tired. She managed to get home with that flour, but this had been a long and tiring day. Mrs. Hen really, really needed a nap. She really needed to go to bed early, and so she gave her babies a bath, and she gave them their dinner, and they did go to bed quite early that night. Well, next morning, when she got up, she realized that, well, after feeding my babies, I really must learn to bake bread. She had the flour now. Now, the little red hen had never baked bread before, but then again, she'd never planted wheat before. She knew she could do it. All she needed to do was find instructions, and so she found a recipe for how to bake bread. She fed her babies and she put them out to play, and then she gathered her ingredients. She mixed up everything she needed to mix. She put the dough into pans. She put the pans into the ovens. And then the bread began to bake. Oh my, the aroma filled the barnyard. Oh, it smelled so good. She was very excited. She could hardly wait until that bread was ready to eat and ready to serve her babies. And then, just because she was used to doing this, she called out once more. She said, "Ooh, who will help me eat the bread?" And now, things had changed. You see, all the animals were now getting a whiff of that delicious bread. And the pig said, "Ooh, I will." And the cat jumped up and walked around and said, "Meow, meow, I will." And the rat even came out from his little hidey hole, and he said, "Oh, I will, I will." Well, the hen thought about that, and she said, "Well, wait. but you did not help me plant the seed, and you did not help me cut the wheat, and you did not help me take the wheat to the mill, and you did not help me bake the bread, and so I think not. I think I will eat the bread. And so she and her babies did. She ate the bread. How about that? Now, the Little Red Hen is a great story. It's found on Project Gutenberg. And I'm going to, again, put that link in the description box so that you guys can go there and find not only the Little Red Hen, but lots of other really neat stories that you and your family will enjoy. When we come back, we're going to have an activity, a STEM activity. We're going to see if we can plant something that will grow into something that we can eat. All right, I have my head of celery here. This is for the STEM activity we're going to do today. We're going to see if we can grow more celery from the scrap of celery that we normally throw away. We're going to cut off the bottom 2 inches of this celery and put this down in a glass or a bowl with a little warm water. Every couple of days we'll change that water out, put fresh water in. We're going to put this in a sunny window or sunny location, and we're going to find out after a few days or maybe a couple of weeks if the bottom part of this celery grows roots and the top part of this celery grows new stalks. Now I've cut off the bottom part of the celery. I have about 2 inches here. I'm going to place this in a glass container with a little bit of warm water. I'm going to fill it up about halfway. Then I'll put this in a sunny window and leave it there. Every couple of days I'll go back and change the water, put fresh water in, take the old water out. We're going to see if this actually grows roots and if little celery stalks start to sprout from the top. After that happens, after the celery grows roots, then you can plant this in your garden, or you can plant it in a pot of potting soil in a sunny location and see how this works. See if this grows celery by the end of the summer. Check back and I'll show you how my celery is doing, and I'd love it if you would upload your experiments to our Botetourt County Library Facebook page so everybody can see how your project's going.